Hey guys, Scott with another tool thought. It's been a couple, 2, maybe 3 months since I got the new bag. I've had a few comments in the comments section about, hey, the last time you did a tool tour, you blew through the bag contents pretty quickly. So I'm going to do a little more in-depth tool bag tour. It might tend to run a little long. You don't have to stay and watch it, obviously. You got to play pause button. You got a stop button. Up to you. Stay or go. No difference to me. Let me get the camera set up and we'll get started. Okay, let's go around the outside of the bag. On the outside, clipped to the handle, I got a set of Leatherman Raptor shears. It's good to have a pair of scissors with you. These things are nice, thick, sharp. Will cut through anything. Typical Leatherman quality. I love them. In the holster, man, it doesn't let go. Over here, we got a Lufkin 16-foot night eyes, high visibility tape measure. It's easier for me to see. I'm not getting any younger, so that's why I've got this one. Plus, it's got the shock-proof outer covering. Here are various tapes. On my main electrical tape, I've got a Tadpole tape cutter. Makes a nice clean cut when you rip it off. Down here, main front pocket on the outside, set of speed outs. Use those for removing stripped out bolts, usually in camera enclosures, because a lot of the, no offense to our Chinese or Asian friends or whatever, but a lot of the Chinese screws are just ridiculously soft. So you have to break one of these out to get the screw to come out, especially if they've been outdoor in the weather for a long time. Also down in this pouch is a compact set of Diablo spade bits for various drilling tasks. Staying on the outside, I got a Pika. It's called a Pika Dry. It's a mechanical pencil. It's a reach, pencil. It's the best one I've ever used. It's made in Germany. The sharpener works great. It's down there in the end of the cover. The only thing I don't like about this is there's no eraser. On here, we have a Lexmark Marksman. Now, I saw this in a British fellow's video of what he carries, and what it is for really deep holes that you can't get something in to mark. This is filled with high visibility green chalk. You put this on the hole and you push this real hard and it shoots chalk into the hole and leaves you a nice green mark when you can't get a pencil or something in there. Tough built lighted level. See previous video. Love this thing. So far so good. It's a little big and bulky, but the rubber bumpers on the ends are lights out, man. Long extension for attaching drill bits or spade bits to for longer drilling tasks. I got a long apex bit. And I got a Fat Boy. It's a fast cap Fat Boy mechanical pencil, real thick lead, real durable thing. It does have an eraser on the end, and it's got a sharpener inside the cap. It works okay. It's the fit and finish is just not as good as the Pika there. And then I have a Dixon Reach. I'm sorry, this is a fast cap reach marker. Backside. Top slot. We got some magic eraser sheets, nice and thin. You're working in somebody's high dollar, multi-million dollar home and you make a mark on their wall and oops, it's in the wrong spot. This works well to take them off or any kind of thing. I've gotten real good at not leaving fingerprints over the years, but sometimes you know, you leave a little smudge and you got to take it off. And then down in the bottom, a microfiber cloth for wiping down panels and displays. Small pouch at the bottom here is just some oiling cloths, some pre-lubricated cloths for wiping down tools. And I don't feel like digging them out right now, so you'll just have to take my word for that. This side, we have a Coast 450 lumen headlamp. I'm a bit of a flashlight junkie, and I really like the high lumen lights. I carry my EDC as a Phoenix 3000 lumen light. This has 450, but it chews through batteries like it's its job. So if I want to upgrade or go any higher, you know, I'm going to have to get into the rechargeable type. Got a Klein folding drywall saw, jab saw, works well. Put this lanyard on here because this pocket's a little too deep and I needed something to be able to pull it out with. Philo all. When you're setting anchors, you know, plastic anchors into drywall, this works for poking holes. It's, you know, very pointy, very sharp and hard. It's got edges on it so you can ream the holes out real well. Down here is a charging cable for my phone and some Sharpies. That's the outside, folks. Now, the inside, you gotta let go of this handle, unzip the back, pull up the Velcro, and unzip the front. All right. Here in this pocket, I've got a Philo automatic stripper and a Linux utility knife. Down here is like things like a Lightning to 3.5 millimeter adapter when we're testing sound systems and you need to send analog audio in, some hearing protection, and just various crap. At the top, middle, Milwaukee M12 Surge impact gun. One of my pet peeves, fellas, is when I watch tool bag videos and guys say, oh, this is a great drill. I love this drill. Fellas, this is not a drill. This is an impact driver. You can drill with it for sure, but she's not a drill, guys. It's an impact driver. It really bugs me. I don't know if I'm being nitpicky or what, or snobbish, but know what you're talking about. You know, we're not all perfect, but this seems to be a misconception that this is a drill. It's not a drill. This is not a drill. Thomas & Betts tie wrap tote, clips to your belt. You reach in, you pull out your zip ties. It's a nice little piece of kit. This used to have a plastic bin in it. This bag was designed by plumbers, for plumbers. PB Plumber over there in the UK. Watch his channel. He's got some good content. I tried to use it for a while, but it wasn't working for me the way I wanted to use the bag. So what I did was I pulled it out, and they had sent me, Velocity had sent me these nice organizer bags. You can see what's in there, but I also labeled them. Miscellaneous pencil leads and keystone connectors and things like that in there. Screw tips, 1 inch, 1/4 inch hex, tamper-proof security bits, Allens, you know, number 2 Phillips, things of that nature. Keep a set of Makita 1/4 inch quick chuck drill bits in there. My little electric, emergency kit that I keep some RJ11s and some screws in. It didn't work out real well. I dropped it once and it shattered into about 5-6 pieces, so that's due to be swapped out. Small, tiny, crappy hammer. I don't want to carry a full-size hammer for weight consideration, but sometimes you need to do some tapping on some stuff. It's just a crappy little Home Depot $5 jobby. Night Eyes crush-proof case for reading glasses and safety glasses, which I don't know where those made off to. Jonard wall template cutout template. Used to use the LSD model for years and years, but they came out with this one. The LSD one is black. This one's blue. It's a lot easier to see down in the middle of that dark bag. Jonard makes awesome stuff for low volt installers. And down here we have just a little first aid kit. And that's the middle of the bag. Top, left to right. Jonard F-wrench. It's got the cut jaw on it to give you the ratcheting action. This is not really useful on coax fittings because you try to ratchet it on and you're not getting you're not getting this off once you ratchet it down onto a splitter or an amp. Another Apex bit, Milwaukee. Philo mini ratchet for 1/4-inch hex bits. This one, number 3, lives in there. It's great for torquing down. You can generate a lot of torque with this little guy. Step drill, Milwaukee. These things are expensive, but they're the greatest step drills I've ever used, and I've been using step drills for nearly 30 years now. It will hold up if you pay attention to feeds and speeds. I don't know how many guys I see on job sites just laying into these things at top speed, shooting sparks and smoke, and then wondering why they got to buy this, every couple of months. Slow down and maybe throw some oil on it. It's not supposed to shriek and smoke and spark when you're using it. Point, in fact, 3-piece set right here of crappy low-end step drills that are still holding up after 5 years of use because I do not abuse them. I mean, if you don't care about dropping money on things unnecessarily, hey, knock yourself out. But if you slow down and go at the right speed and don't let these things heat up, they won't lose their temper and they won't lose their edges quick. Got a jacket score. Use it for cat, 22/4 security wire and speaker wire and things like that. It works great. Comes free with ideal RJ45 connectors. Just some screw tip holders. These are the kind that have the I guess these are depth or something markings, and they slide up to keep the screw from flying off the end on you. And a pick. We use Control 4 as our control system. We do switches sometimes, and sometimes you have to switch the buttons out, and they have these very delicate little tabs on the side, and this works great for pulling them off. Got a Lennox tweaker. It's ratcheting. Lennox makes all kinds of good stuff, guys. Can't say enough about them. Snap-on regular old tweaker. I think it's an 1/8 inch wide. Snap-on quality. Snap-on ratcheting screwdriver. I had one that I used for 25 years, and I recently bought this, I don't know, maybe a year ago. They're the only one that if I want to turn to the right, you lock it to the right, and it ratchets. That's tight. You go left, and you're turning left. Every other screwdriver out there on the market, I've tried. Stavilla, Screwball, Vessel, they all get this wrong in my mind. I guess it's not that big a deal, but once you're used to it after 25 years, you kind of get used to it. Lennox, beaten screwdriver. Again, Lennox just makes awesome stuff. Good price, available at Lowe's. Vessel, number 3, good Japanese tool company. Number 3, we use a lot of Samsung displays, and their fasteners for mounting rails to the back of the TV for mounting are big. So I use this. This is actually an Impacta It's an impact screwdriver. You hit it and it rotates the fastener 12 degrees to loosen stuck fasteners, which you don't want to be doing on the back of a TV, pounding on it, obviously. We got a set of Connepax Lineman's pliers. What can you say about Connepax? They're probably the best there is. Their quality is unbelievable. The steel is excellent. These things have held up well. They've got a crimper built in and a fish tape puller on the back. Mega Pro 24-in-1 ratcheting, or not ratcheting, precision screwdriver. Mega Pro is a Canadian company. I'm not sure where this is made. All your little bits are in there for your precision. And the spin cap is just buttery smooth. Good thing to have. And then behind that, I got a set of Engineer Nedgiesaurus screw removal pliers. Good quality steel. These things are, I don't know, 5 years old or something. I've used them a lot. They have the the striations at the end to help you remove broken screws. They work great. Got a CH Hanson magnetic stud finder. I've been using stud finders a long time. The electronic ones do not work as well as this little $8 stud finder. It locks onto the screw itself that they generally put toward the center of the stud to hang the drywall with. And it works well on wood or metal studs. This is a new take on it. This is made by Studmark. And instead of finding a stud and then marking it with a pencil mark, you find your stud, hang this on the screw that you found, use this to find the other screw, mark it again, and then there's your two studs with no pencil marks. Great little setup. Sonoda. See previous video on these. This is a set of zip tie pliers. They're only made for cutting plastic. They'll flush cut, and they have a gripping area where you can pull the tension of the zip tie before you cut it off. Japanese company. Gearwrench, XX hemostats. These will get you into some very tight spaces. The XX lets you get more of a spread on the tips there to get into small spaces and still be able to grab something. I forget how much I paid for these, but they're great. Channel lock needle nose. I like channel lock stuff. It's good for its price. It's American made, which I like. I don't know. They seem to be maybe going downhill just a bit in recent years. I don't know. You put them up against a Canopex, and they don't hold up. It's good quality stuff, but not as good as the Canopex. It's like the company, I don't know. It's like they're stuck in limbo or something. But I continue to buy their stuff and use it. I like it. Let's go here. We've got a Klein punch down tool with an ever sharp blade. It's held up well. I've gone through a few punch down tools. I like this one because of the comfort grip. This is a Klein compression tool for compression fittings. Fs, RCAs, BNCs. I had to give up my company issued one when I left my previous company, and then when I went out on my own, I bought this at Home Depot. I think it was like $20. It's the greatest little compression tool I've ever owned. It does every fitting you can throw at it because it's infinitely adjustable. Here, you just tighten this up or loosen it according to the fitting you're using, and Bob's your uncle. This is an Ideal RJ45 crimper and trimmer. It's held up well. It's 5-6 years old. I've only ever had to replace the blade, obviously. The only thing I don't like is it's got the spring handle. I hate that. I guess I could pull the spring out, but I don't know. I don't like sprung tools like that. Oh, let's see. Set of European style wire strippers. You have to manually set them, but once you set them, they're great. It's got the rodent's teeth style, I guess that's called. Instead of stripping a wire this way, which is harder on your wrist, you just pull straight out. It also works great for short conductors that are in a box that you can't get into. You just pull straight out on them. Set of locking pliers. These are the Malcos. Made in USA. The fit and finish is unbelievable on these things. Yeah. Irwin bought the DeWitt manufacturing facility out there in Nebraska that used to make the original vice grips, and then promptly moved all the manufacturing to China. And their product shows because it's very soft and it's real easy to knock the teeth off of. These kick the snot out of those, and they are made in the very same plant because Malco bought that plant, reworked it, retooled it, revitalized it, and gave all those people jobs. So these are great. A little expensive. Ball driver for post-install leveling on TV mounts. Usually they put an Allen head in there. I wish the shaft was longer. This was a freebie. It's cheap. Bondus makes this style of driver, and they're made in the USA. I'll see if maybe they have one that's got a little bit of a longer end on it. Another set of engineered pliers. These are water pump style with a narrow end. They are also screw removal. And I believe they're made for Japanese plumbers. They've got this hex end on one part of the handle and this pry screwdriver end on the other, but I just had to have them. Green's my favorite color. They work well, highly durable. I love the finish on them. Oh, where are we at now? We got Connepax Cobolts. Sometimes you need to cut a hard screw or something, and it's best not to do it with your dikes. Use diagonal side cutters. You know, typical Connepax quality. Set of the new twin grip pliers by Connepax. It's just a play on the old school standard, 2-position slip joint pliers. These are 5-position with their quick adjust system. And it's also Connepex's first foray into the screw removal type tips on them. Set of Connepax pliers, wrenches. Everybody should have one of these. They kick the snot out of crescent wrenches because you can get a ratcheting type action going instead of having to turn the fastener and then take the crescent wrench off, and then they always come out of adjustment, and then this just stays on and it blows away a traditional adjustable wrench. Connepax Cable Shears. Some cables, you want to cut and leave a nice clean end. This doesn't quote unquote traumatize the conductors inside. It doesn't squash them flat before cutting them like diagonal pliers, dikes do. I use this end for scoring the insulation, and then this end where most of the leverage is where I do the cutting. Set of Malloy Tip Nippers. Now Malloy, Diamond Duluth went out of business in the early 90s. That was a great American tool company. It's a shame they're gone. These are just a little strange set of, nippers that have, little blades on the end. You can reach down into narrow spaces. You don't need them a lot, but, if you need something like this, it's good to have around. Connepax Cobras, everybody should have them. They're superior to the channel lock types. Quick adjust. Steel is unbelievable, and they will not pinch you. There's an anti-pinch feature. If you You know, see, they can't pinch you. Channel locks will bite your palm. I don't know how many blood blisters I've had from those. I wish they would, you know, get with the times. Set of antique plier wrenches. Now, these were the progenitors, the originators of the plier wrench type of pliers. These were patented in 1916, I believe, and have been in continuous production ever since. This is the 7-inch model. They make a 8.5. It was invented by Joseph Eiffel. It's got a force multiplier in there, just like the Connepax plier wrenches. It gives you a 10-to-1 squeeze ratio. I like these because they're straight on. My dikes are snap-on currently. Can't say enough good things about snap-on. We all know. And they're green, which is my favorite. I really love the screaming green. That's those Euro strippers. I think that's going to be... Well, we got a couple more things here. Termination puck for keystones, Cat 6, Cat 5. I've learned on this, so now I use it continuously. It's better than holding the keystone in your hand and then slipping and punching that thing through the end of your palm, or through your palm. And then my Coax Stripper. Now this is OEM by Platinum, I believe. This is the second iteration of it I've had. You can go, you know, 59 and 6 or RG11. It's got an adjustable jacket, score. It's got a shear in there. And what I love is this simple piece of the hook side of Velcro. What it is after you strip the coax and you're dealing with the braided shield, you just comb it and it gets all those little strands. It's such a simple idea, yet it's highly effective. And I think that's going to do it for the main compartment, guys. Let's spin it around and do the back. Now in this big pocket, I've got a expandable trash can. When you're like, you know, working in somebody's multi-million-dollar home and you're doing trim finish, you're plating everything and you're trimming everything and terminating everything, it's nice to just have this little trash can in your bag with you instead of leaving a trail of destruction in your wake. They're about $5. I picked this one up at Menards. I constantly lose them because they're black and, you know, you forget about them. But they're cheap enough to where I just keep buying them. It's good to keep in your bag. Bottom of that pouch is a couple of things. Sorry about the camera, guys. Some 8 tape. All it is cloth Plumbers Strap. Whenever there's something that you don't, you know, that doesn't have a mounting solution, you just stretch this over the device and screw it to your board down in the basement or at the head end, and it kind of holds it to the wall. And then I have a magnetic wristband for when I'm up on a ladder or whatever and I need a bunch of screws. Instead of poking out my pockets, I stick them on here. At the top, I've got couple of hook wires. Any of you that do any wire fishing know what that's for. 12 gauge seems to be the sweet spot. You know, just enough bendability and tensile strength for hooking wires out of walls. And I've got the Jonard Retriever. So what it is you drop a wire into a wall or whatever, and you tape this ball chain onto it, and then you can reach in there and grab it with the magnet instead of trying to hook it with a hook wire. This is made by Jonard. They make awesome stuff for low volt people, communications type people. LSD Inc. makes this as well. They call it a wet noodle. Good to have on you. Let's see. We have a cordless glue gun, hot glue gun. We use Control 4, and you know, you've got to put IR emitters on to the devices that you want to control. You know, you stick them on, they've got factory adhesive on them, but after a while it either dries out or it gets knocked off by somebody cleaning or dusting or whatever. If you glue it on with this, it won't come off. And this is just a little piece of plastic I use to keep the drip, you know, from getting on somebody's furniture. Got a Milwaukee Rover light. It's got the magnetic end, and then there's a magnet behind here. Good for working on racks. You can point it wherever you want. Extra glue sticks, and then a Bosch 135 foot laser distance measurer. That's on the verge of being replaced. As soon as the budget allows, I'm going to go to the green with a 200 foot, I believe. This thing is great. Bosch makes good stuff, as we know. Got a chicken stick or a cricket or a volt tester, whatever you want to call it, because I came up in the electrical trades and before I switched to low volt. So I still do a little bit of light electrical. I got an F wrench from LSD Inc. You just slip it over the coax and twist it on. Got a Klein flat insulated for working in circuit panels. Buck Brothers chisel, made in USA. Sometimes you just need a chisel. You know, people have you retrofit things all the time and you do your best to pinpoint where studs are. Sometimes there's surprises and you've got to chisel out or cut out with power tools some of the wood or bridging or maybe just the edge of the stud or whatever. You try not to do it, but sometimes it can't be helped. Philo insulated number 2 Robertson square drive circuit panel. Circuit panel work. I don't know if anybody's familiar with these volt claws. They are completely non-conductive. When we're putting switches in, you know, Control 4 switches in boxes, sometimes they get pretty packed and you need to shove wires in and you don't want to damage the insulation. You know, these are rounded, good pushers, grabbers. You can hook it. It's got a wire nut twister in it. And this is the bigger one that's got the movable grip point and the pusher head. All right, deep in there we've got a Milwaukee Spudger / hook tool for communication blocks. It rarely gets used anymore. Klein electrician's tap. It's got 10, 8, and 632 on it. Sometimes you get a boogered up thread on a metal box or whatever. This is a kind of a key for network interface boxes or demarc points for coax. They have the special fastener to keep it shut, to keep most people out. This will get you in there. Outlet tester with GFCI function and voltage display readout, Cobalt. Got a little bit of solder in there. Weller Portasol Super Pro 125 watt butane powered soldering iron. We dabble in security. My partner is a 30 or 40 year veteran of the security industry. We do it when we have to. We don't really like to do it, but if you solder connections, it usually keeps the oxidation out, makes a more reliable connection. Low volt guys are notorious for using beanie connectors, which are the worst friggin' connectors I've ever seen in my life. And they'll crimp them shut with dikes. So the thing is precarious as is. So what we'll do is we'll solder and tape. Now the only acceptable use of a beanie, in my opinion, is to solder the connection together and then use the beanie as an insulator, not the sole mechanical item to keep that connection together. They don't produce very reliable connections, and it's just, you know, a lazy connector for, you know, cost-cutting type people. Sorry if that offends you, but that's my opinion. These opinions are formed by my experiences day to day. Leatherman Titan Evo 7 zip tie, tension, and cutoff tool. High-end one here. It's probably, I don't know, a couple $300, but if you look on eBay, you can get deals on them. They make cheaper ones that you could get. It tensions the zip tie to the proper tension and cuts it off perfectly flush. If any of you have ever reached into a rack or a ceiling or whatever, and some yahoo has tightened his zip ties with, you know, by hand and then cut them off with dikes, they leave a razor sharp edge, and I don't know how many times I've been laid open by those things. Got a lighted inspection mirror for looking behind TVs, seeing labels and, you know, HDMI connections and such. We have a Vera Zyklop 1/4-inch drive ratchet. See previous video. The thing's a marvel of engineering. It's amazing. I love Vera products. I keep some tip tinner and cleaner in here for my soldering iron. I like to use this better because if you tin your tip with solder, usually the rosin core or flux core will eat the tip. This makes it last just a little bit longer before you have to replace it. And then we have a Stanley Socket Set. Now, I'm not a big fan of Stanley's quality in recent years, but, you know, this is the largest set of sockets I could find that was this compact. This goes up to 9/16 and 14 millimeter. You got your standard and metric. You know, if you know of a smaller, more compact set, let me know. I know people have suggested Vera Tool Check to me, but you get maybe 6 sockets and, you know, some bits, and you're dropping $100. To me, that's not worth it. Still love their products, though. And that's it for that main bag. And last but not least is my secondary bag. This is a Vito Mb3. It was given to me by Vito for buying my previous tool bag, which was an awesome bag. Love Vito's quality. But it was too small, and the Velocity Rogue 9.0 came out, and that was just a game changer for me. I tend to like the Rogues better, the Velocity stuff better, because of the design. And the quality is on par with Vito, but you got some Vito fanboys out there that just go ballistic when you tell them that the Velocity stuff is just as good. I've owned both. I've owned multiple iterations of both, so I have a little bit of experience to offer an informed opinion. So what I got in here is main pouch, some Brady labels, wire labels, and the Brady labeler itself, which is a BMP21. You can't touch Brady. I've been using Brady labelers 30 years now. They are the best, bar none. The adhesive on their labels is superior to all others, and the way they do things is just better. I've had Dymos, Brothers. Can't touch the Brady. Also in there is my Fluke Meter. It's about my 3rd or 4th meter. I was given one in the military long ago. Thought it was the greatest meter ever, and this is my current iteration, which is a Fluke, what is that, 116. Great little meter. We have a Panduit cable comb. Now, if you're not familiar with these, if you have a large trunk of wire coming into a rack or something like that, you want to keep the umbilical nice and straight, you feed them into this, clip it in here, cinch it up like a little belt, and you know, you draw it down, put your Velcro strip or your zip tie on it, and it keeps it perfectly straight all the way into its destination. There's another insert for it too, for different sizes. Back side of the bag, there's a pocket that's got a waterproof flap, water resistant. That's got my network tester in it, my VDV tester. I'm going to upgrade. This one's a few years old. I'm going to upgrade to the Klein Scout Pro. I think 2 or 3. It's backlit. Tells you distance to short, which end the problem is at, and how long the cable is. So that's on the upgrade list, again, as budget allows. Also in here, toner, Fluke Intellitone probe, Intellitone Pro. I love Fluke products. You can't beat them. I think I've got the leads up in there. But, some people don't like it, but I like it because it's got the higher quality clips with the bed of nails on them. You can tell crappy clips. They're just little standard alligator clips. It's also got a way to tone coax and a way to tone, Cat 5 and 6 without having to break the wire and clip directly onto the wires. And then at the bottom is my Testum coax tester. It tells you shorts, opens. This thing is old, but it's still old reliable. It works great. And I believe that is going to conclude this video. I appreciate all that have stuck around this long. I appreciate all my subscribers. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. Like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And have a good one.